Somebody's phone?
Yes, mine. All right, here we go. Let me start there.
Greetings and salutations. Please allow me to welcome you to Masterpiece Theater. I'm your host, Oba Babatunde, and here on Masterpiece Theater, we celebrate the very best in the spoken word, the written word, and the word expressed in song. In addition, we pay tribute to the talented artists that bring those words to life. Each week here on Masterpiece Theater, I have the pleasure of engaging brilliant artists in one-on-one conversation that explores the great treasures and these writers and actors and singers and dancers possess as we spotlight their artistry that illuminates us all. So I say, a very warm welcome. Now today, my guests are Deidre Walker, also known as Inspire, and music producer Ricardo Love. Let me tell you a little bit about Deidre Walker. She was a native of Los Angeles, California. In the late 80s, she and her family moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where she finished her schooling, and having strong ties in her roots in Los Angeles, she relocated right back to the wonderful city of Los Angeles. That was in 1991. Having a strong passion for teaching combined with her love for children, Deidre was inspired to utilize her experiences to become an advocate for children causes. She spent 20 plus years in her career as a preschool youth camp director. Deidre utilizes her voice to speak for those with small voices and go unheard through the cultivating circumstances that allow children to succeed. Deidre, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me tell you about my second guest before we get started, because I'm thrilled that both of these kind folks have joined me here today in the studio on Masterpiece Theater. This gentleman is an exceptional artist. He goes by the name of Ricardo Love, and his motto is old school talent with new school technology. And he uses the method to make real music on real instruments while also utilizing the latest computer technology, that virtual instruments and a cutting-edge freshness. Now, I'm thrilled about that because, we're always excited about maintaining the artistry of the artist. Right. So, Ricardo, welcome. Thanks. I am so thrilled to have you guys in studio. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
We're good.
I can't believe I'm here with you, brother.
I got a chance to make the acquaintance of Deidre, Inspire, is the name that she goes by in her spoken word. This past weekend at the Taste of Soul, where over 200,000 people were in attendance. And it was a magical time. I mean, to see all of those beautiful people out there, no problems, no violence, nothing but just love. And it goes to prove that, while folks may identify that when black folks get together that there's always going to be an issue, but there was every hue. There was black, there was brown, there was Asian, there was white, and it was a melting pot of love. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I do. I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, we're excited today because we've got you in studio, and everybody that's listening and watching. I'm going to start off because I want you to hear. Deidre was kind enough to lay her CD on me, and I want you to hear what I heard and experience what it was that I experienced, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
From the cocoon of my mother's wombs, the day I was conceived, I do believe God needed a place to store his word, so he gave some to me. And with 9 months to marinate, Mother's Day would be a great date for my arrival, and for my protection, Mom's was armed with prayers and the Bible. She knew my journey would be long. She knew I needed to stay strong. I was born with wings and dreams, it seems. It took decades for me to understand what this means. I'm a butterfly, meant to soar sky high, fluttering words of inspiration into lives, leaving behind smiles. Ever try catching a butterfly? Ever try catching a butterfly? No matter how much you chased it, it always seemed to get away. And even though it flew far and beautiful, you was always delighted to have seen one that day. I am a butterfly. Butterfly? Butterfly?
Oh, yes. How beautiful is that?
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Please, would you share with us what was the inspiration in you writing that piece?
Well, that piece was just an intro to introduce myself and my CD. The CD is entitled Chrysalis, The Birth of Inspire. And Chrysalis is the stage that a butterfly goes through right when right before the cocoon cracks and you get all your colors, and you don't know what the caterpillar is going to turn into just yet. So when I wrote that piece, I just wanted to express why I thought myself of that way, the journey you take through life.
Yes.
That caterpillar stage.
Yes.
And then opening wide to the butterfly.
Well,
just to be able to spread my wings and my words.
I must say that I think that you have absolutely morphed into the butterfly through those words and your energy. It's so warm, it's so generous. It is really just uplifting. Now, Ricardo, you guys have a unique relationship because you are the orator of the music. Yes, that supports these words.
Yes, sir.
Now, when tell me a little bit about how you came to meet Inspire, and when you heard these words, what is the creative process that has you create the music that's so befitting of these words?
I'm not sure if we met through a mutual friend or a friend or a poetry venue that Deidre used to give, but I was instantly attracted to her words, and I think that first day we met, we said we got to do something together. Mm-hmm. And the first time we got together, it was so magical. I think we created like 5 pieces in 1 day or 2 days. It was just magical. And then we tried to revisit it later, and it was so many issues and that came up, but it was like giving birth to finally get the CD out. But I've always been attracted to the spoken word genre because they have so much more to say than even a song. Even if it's a Stevie Wonder type song, there's only so much you can put in lyric because you have to draw it out. But with spoken word, the content and the amount of message you can get in and the content level is so high. And Deidre was right on the cutting edge of that. And so,
wow. Well, I'm telling you, the two of you really make a magical team.
Thank you.
Because it actually goes hand in glove. You were talking about the fact that you talked about what the inspiration that you had, that the introduction, but the concept of morphing. And then you talk about the meeting and how that morphed into this wonderful relationship. I got to say, I would be remiss having you right here in the studio. Could I impose upon you to do one of your pieces live for our audience?
Sure. I would love to do that.
Okay.
Okay. I can't turn back the hands of time, because in every second I live, in that same second I die, so I don't have time to waste. In life, you'll choose. What will it be? Haste or procrastinate? They say the early bird gets the worm. Well, I'm the hawk that ate the early bird. It's now my turn. I'm waking the sun up with a smile. The rooster's hot. He'll be unemployed for a while. See, I'm tired of complaining about my depths and despairs. The world's not listening, and frankly, everyone is trying to get there. So I joined the race of go-getters, took a break and got my life together. See, I woke up and broke up with procrastination fast. Told him if I wanted more, well, this relationship couldn't last. And next I had to call it regret. Told him I couldn't afford to let him continue to cripple my future. See, I've been there and I've done that. I got that monkey off my back, relaxed, and realized either I get up or I bring on my own demise. And I took off my shades to see foes, dressed in friend's disguise, trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Sorry, so I hit my knees and I turned my cries to the sky. Oh, Lord, these are the words you gave me. Can I use a few to ask you to save me? I know I walked away, but only a few feet, and I know it's you who carried me those nights I was weak, your arms around me, those times I couldn't sleep. I need you now more than ever. The devil's busy. He knows I'm getting my life together, and it feels like my life is a continuous Nike running commercial. Only thing is, I don't get a rehearsal. And my soul is burning up fast, and the hills of hell are approaching, and time doesn't last. See, I can't turn back the hands of time, because in every second I live, in that same second I die, so I don't have time to waste. In life, you'll choose. What will it be? Haste or procrastinate? And I don't fear death. I've seen him a time or two, and half y'all couldn't survive what I've been through. From washing my godson's blood up out of the street, to closing my father's eyes so he appeared to be asleep. A random bullet flying a half inch past my seat. Yes, death had challenged me, and I had wrapped myself in a fleshly tomb, buried 6 feet above ground, and in my own sorrow I drowned. But just like Lazarus, I too couldn't be held down, so I don't have time to waste. Father Time can take a break. I just became the last second on the clock, so time doesn't matter until I stop.
Wow.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Oh, sensational.
Thank you.
And so much that you speak to in that piece. Now, those were some of the things you referred to that actually were things that took place in your life, yes?
Everything that I have written on my CD is a true life experience.
Okay.
Everything. And that's where I find that I write from. And as a poet, you have to feel exposed. You have to be ready to put your life on the line for someone else. And whether you can save someone with your words or just have someone feel what you've been going through. So every single thing, that's what I love to say, is that everything on my CD is true to life story.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And your name, Inspire.
Inspire.
Yes. And I mean, I think that you truly, I don't think, I know that you truly do. That which you just described is personal to you and your experience, but it relates to so many other people who are going through many of the same things. So through this, you give a voice, as we talked about in your bio, a voice to the voiceless. You express that which someone else would want to say, would want someone to know, would want someone else to hear. And in doing so, give that person another opportunity to continue on, because you represent an example of one who has been through and has come out on the other side.
Thank you.
Who continues to inspire. I'm going to ask us to listen to one more of your pieces here.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about it.
Okay, thank you. I can't turn back the hands of time, because in every second I live, in that same second I die, so I don't have time to waste. In life you choose. What will it be? Haste or procrastinate?
mess. All this nonsense on our airwaves today. What are we listening to nowadays? Hip hop is starting to fade. If Pac and Big were alive, would hip hop sound like nursery rhymes? And would Brenda's still be having babies? And would they be asking the Lord to save me? I wonder if they found out if there was a heaven for a G. I wonder if they realized how much their words affected me. I'm staring through windows, wanting to know if it's better on the other side. Should I be fighting to live or just ready to die? And did they realize either one before they closed their eyes? The handwriting used to be on the wall, but through the fog of graffiti and gun smoke, most of us is still getting it wrong. Killings, claiming streets, hot heads is what stopped Tupac and Biggie's hearts and beats. Torturous streets, robbing the living for their belief, strong-arming life as if there's no tomorrow. And if there's no tomorrow, then what will we do today? What will be the last words we say? Because half y'all missed the message, and the other half just wants to play. Sugarcoating nonsense. Take away the music, and there is no hit. Dancing to demeaning lyrics. Unplug your ears so you can hear it. Subliminal messages breaking our spirits. Are we gonna learn from Pac and Big? Or are we soon to relive their tragedy? If they were alive, would they have changed their strategy? If they could holler at 50 and game, would they tell them to squash the beef or to stay the same? I think if they came back, they would tell them to change. Because on the other side, there is no claim to fame and no one screaming your name. Fascinated with video fantasies. Is anyone living in reality? Stop. Open your eyes. We going to hell in a handbasket and y'all thinking y'all could survive? Hell, hit hard times, watch the rich man cry. See death? Even the hardest gangster don't want to die. Try facing truth. We're losing our youth. Our women and children turned into symbols of perversion. But what's worse than when you see these lost souls smiling and shaking while being called hoes, portraying to be real in fake videos? I'm outraged at the lives we've lost. And for nothing, we've sold our souls for the cost of monetary fortune and temporary fame. And in the end, we've realized that it's time for a change.
Yeah. Now, Inspire, that piece is quite different than the one we just heard in its own way. And that's another thing that I noticed about each one of your pieces. They have their own sense of their individual characterisms.
Thank you.
Yes. No, it's beautiful. Tell me, now, this somehow is specifically sort of directed at the hip-hop culture and the music and what we're saying. Talk to me a little bit about, again, the inspiration about that. And do you think what your view opinion might be about if Biggie and Tupac were still alive?
Well, my inspiration for that, Pac is one of my number one artists, poets, prophets, and just the struggle in which our community has to put our music out there. Mm-hmm. You know, what I've learned is that the more positive, the less play. Mm-hmm. The more negative, you get the play. You get the music, you get the money, you get all of these things to make people think that that's the better route to go.
And how do you think that that's affecting us or affecting the I should say the perception of us?
Oh, we're in dire straits right now. For me, I think that the music that we're listening to does not reflect us as a people, us of where we've been through, the all of our things that we went through to get our music out there. I think that the music nowadays, it doesn't have any content. Mm-hmm. And people are really fighting and killing over lyrics, over things that don't even belong to them. Mm. And so one of the things that made me write this piece was to reach. I have teenage sons, 17 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out Dijon and Dodry, love you. Do well in school. And I wanted to write something that showed them that, you know, we have lyrical people. We have lyrics out there that are very tasteful and that you can still dance to
Yes. Okay.
and be a part of.
Which brings me to you, Ricardo, because the music that is the foundation underneath this, supporting this lyric. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, your experience in bringing that to life.
I wanted to give like a West Coast hip hop vibe, and Dr. Dre is definitely, you know, the sound that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But I recognize working in the music industry, so it's exactly what she said. Like the positive messages don't get out, and often the most ignorant people among us are given the biggest voice, the biggest stages to articulate our voice. And that's another, you know, as I said earlier, why I've been drawn to spoken word and artists like Inspire. So giving that feel and making it danceable. So, you know, you could have something for them to be fed. You know, it's a plate.
So you're blending the two things, the desire to move, because there's a pulse that clearly is something that, as you mentioned with Dr. Dre and in the music that you've written, that is driving, that is pulsating, that comes from the origin of a people.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that it's not feeding on one side an empty calorie on the other side.
Right.
That
Yes.
it's nutrition that is connected to it. You know. Well, I think that we've been able. Certainly, please.
With this piece, the what I loved about Ricardo's work is that we wanted to make a CD that just wasn't. I don't consider myself just like a poet or like a. I guess I would be a spoken word artist. I wish I had a voice to sing. I would, but I love music. So when I heard this particular beat, what I think one of the things that we kind of need to tell you is that my pieces were written and his music was already made prior to us getting together.
Wow.
And it was one of those things where it just felt in each groove because all of my pieces are performed actually a cappella.
Wonderful.
And when we met, I was just like, I love music. I would love to put my things to music. But this last piece is one of my favorite rips for him because he just ripped on that guitar. Like, oh my God. And I love the rock feel for it because I want everybody to know it doesn't have to be what they consider boring or sing-songy. You know, you can rock out to some poetry and everything.
And it's potent. You know what I mean? The lyrics really are telling and posing questions
Yes.
that deserve answers.
Yes.
Well, listen, we're going to do a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back, and we got some other stuff in store for you.
Thank
Stay
you.
tuned. That's Kevin Tony 3 from his new release, New American Sweet. All We Need Is Love. Yes, yes indeed. Which is a perfect segue into this next piece. Now, you know, I got an opportunity to listen to the CD, and I was really moved by what it was that I was hearing. And then this particular song came on, this particular poem, underscored by my friend Ricardo's music, and I had to pull the car over. Now, I'm just going to, with that being said, I'm going to let you listen to it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this.
Okay.
The name of it is Crush,
Yeah,
on You.
Crush.
I got a crush on you. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
I got a crush on you. I don't know
I
what
got
to
a
do.
crush on you.
I got a crush on you, on you, on you.
Have you ever had a crush? I mean a real live crush. Butterflies type crush. I have. Ooh. And let me tell you.
I got a crush on you.
His lips mesmerized me. Caught my attention like a red candy apple at a carnival waiting to be picked, licked, and bitten. And I'm not sure if I should ignore the desire to kiss him and then ask his name. All I know is somehow, some way, I need our paths to meet because his eyes are shining my way like a bright sun ray, inviting me to bask in his view. And I imagine myself whispering soft sweet nothings in his ear, making him blush. And if a crush can happen at first sight, this has to be more than a glance meeting. And by the way that I'm looking at him, I wonder if he can feel my tongue, taste his neck. Ooh, his neck, oh so strong, looking like a super waffle cone, bronzed and beautiful, lickable, kissable. I bet he tastes like a sugar cane, and although it's against the game, I would love to leave a trail of passion marks from his neck to his chest and back. Am I bad for that? I mean, ladies, picture him. Face so handsome, he belongs on the cover of a magazine. Haircut, well-groomed, his scent alone had me coming across the room. His style is so fly, he reminds me of a cloudless sky. His shirt hangs flawless across his broad shoulders. His arms make me want to be the her he is holding. Thighs so thick, I couldn't resist momentarily straddling them in a daydream until his taut frame pressed against my soft, warm invite. Telepathically, I wanted him to sense my urgent attraction. Mission, it was his back I was scratching, followed by a gentle massage, the feathered kisses. Almost afraid to know what I'd be missing if I didn't step to him. Compelled by curiosity, could possibly his personality engulf me as did his physique. Unique was everything about this man I wanted to know. So, after my brief realization of our lovemaking, turning fantasy into reality, I cleared my throat and introduced myself. Hi, I've got a crush on you.
I got a crush on you.
On you, on you.
I got a crush on you.
I don't know what to do.
Thinking about the things you do.
On you, on you.
Ooh, yeah.
My. Now, everybody that's watching and listening, you can understand why one would have to pull their car over. Do you realize that you could create some problems with that? The people listening to that on the radio.
I was hoping to.
Let's talk about Crush on You. Now,
Okay.
for me, it was a free-flowing and effortless piece that somehow suggested a consciousness, and not just it was not lascivious. It was beautifully spoken. It is true poetry at its best.
Thank you.
Share with me and our viewing and listening audience the inspiration for the individual, or how did you come about that? Sometimes it has nothing to do with an individual. So I was just interested in what it was that was born out of.
Well, the individual, I like to, let whoever thinks that that's them be them. It's a role play piece. My inspiration for that piece is because, as you can see, I'm sort of shy when it comes to meeting the opposite sex and or talking to someone. And a lot of times I find when I talk to my friends, you may have a person that you're interested in, but in society it's like, I was taught old school, so you wait for the guy to approach you.
Yes,
you wait
yes.
till he lets you know that he likes, there's a liking. And
Right.
but I know that there are women out there who we sit back and go, oh man, first of all, men don't get enough compliments.
Oh, that's
And I
very
love
good.
my brothers.
That's beautiful.
And so I think that my piece was, one, to compliment, two, to express how women, we have feelings too. And a lot of times we have to suppress because we don't want to be labeled as out there if you put it out there like that.
Right.
But there's some guys out there you're just like, oh my God, I have a crush on you. And you just, and it's just, I don't know. It's one of those pieces.
Well, you know what? I tell you that it does. It has a genuine. When you Ricardo talked about old school, and this had sort of. I'm going to have Ricardo talk a little about the music in because it had sort of that kind of old school R&B kind of, where usually the love song that a man would sing to a woman.
Right.
And here it was from the female perspective. And, one of the things that I've noticed is that females have a strong communication with one another, that they understand exactly what they're saying. And that sometimes us guys, we miss it.
Right.
So here was like just peeling back the layer a little bit, if you will, of that woman's perspective on how she feels about that man. But Ricardo, tell me about the music aspect of it.
Yeah, the whole concept was to marry the neo soul thing with the old school jazz. So I'm using the upright bass and the vibes. There's the selection of the instruments and how they go together. And then once I got her voice in there, to blend it in such a way. And then we had singers scat underneath. So we were getting that, that old Ella Fitzgerald. We was trying to bring it all together, bring all the genres, the years of our culture together in one piece. And then, like you said, it's sensuous, but it's not dirty, or it's
Right.
you feel the love and the passion
Yes.
between
I'm
the man
classy.
and woman.
I'm a lady.
Yes, she is most
Absolutely. And you know what? It is so nice because, we're getting an opportunity to be repositories of your artistry. See, artistry is something that bears a consciousness, a usable consciousness, an intellect, if you will. And it's not pious. It's, by that I mean, we're not, jaded or locked off. We have passion. Very often some individuals want to associate the fact that because you are an intellectual or an artist, that you're somehow without passion. And that's not true. And you're showing through your artistry
Thank you.
that we can have all of the above.
Yeah.
We're going to take another little commercial break, and in this break, I want to play another one of Inspire's pieces. Listen up.
This poem is not only dedicated to my brother Sherman Nevins and my godson Kazi Bell, but to Troy Rose Sr., Trayvon Martin, Eric Lewis, Tony Daniels, Oscar Grant, Emmett Till, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Bob Marley, and any brother gone too soon caught in the legacy of racism or black-on-black crimes. I write this for the rip in my vocal cords that are tearing because I want to scream. I'm done with this American nightmare they call a dream. Seems if you're born black, you don't mean a thing. And what are the meaning to the words, let freedom ring? And is all that Martin preached about just becoming a dream? Because I'm shaking from these night sweats, wondering if mine could be next.
perplexed from the position in which society would place them, in the grave or in prison. See, my sons, your sunrise and sunsets can be limited. Unfortunately, this happens to be your experiences. If life had a wish list, I would wish to take the terror from your existence, erase the pain from your back and the lack of respect the world has for you. You have to know that you're important too, and there is nothing in the world I wouldn't do for you. I'll always be your sister soldier, hold you down and ride with you. You've been a soldier since birth, the beautiful shade of the earth to whom Mother Earth gave birth first, the main ingredient. That's why you're feared and revered, and in my heart, held dear. I understand you. It's time to take back the manhood they tried to beat out of you. Time to reverse the curse. Tired of seeing my black men in a hearse. So many lives lost, my tears can no longer heal the hurt. I search for the answer to the cure for this hate. It's worse than cancer, yet not too late. Only love can heal this disease. And I look into the eyes of my black men and say, please, rise, gather your tribe, your women as your wives, with them and your children by your side. This is your village we live in. I plead, who will lead us? Rise from the dust. Our kings, rescue us from the path of the abducted. We have to trust that we have not forgotten our heritage. We've always been more than less than. This is coming from my heart. As your woman, mother, sister, and friend, I will carry you to the end. My question is, where do we begin? How do we dispel the Willie Lynch with clenched fist, pumping pride from inside? How do we prevent other lives from being taken, whether by the hands of a racist or our brothers looking into each other's faces? How do we get our people to see that self-hate has been embedded and misplaced? Of our dignity, we were raped. They tried to steal our souls, stripped us from our rituals. We are the anointed and the spiritual. I will not give up until I'm dead and gone. And even then, I will come back as a reincarnated spirit of the fearless. Because for you, my brother, I will go to hell and back. Because you deserve it. You've earned it. You were robbed with propaganda and lies. And through it all, you still seem to rise. I see the strength in your eyes. For your struggles, I cry. So I write this for the rip in my vocal cords because I want to scream from the top of my lungs. Put down the hate. Put down the guns. Because we are losing too many of our men, fathers, brothers, and sons. I love you. And I am sure I'm not the only one.
Yes. Now, I must tell you, I remember the first time I heard this, how it affected me, truly on a visceral level, because that which you describe is one that you speak as a mother, as someone's sister, as someone's aunt, as someone who has watched and identified the loss and the taking of a life of far too many great heroes, legendary figures.
Yes.
Whether they be noted legendary or legendary in their families, because, that's something that we so often somehow miss, is that, it's not the degree of what one is publicized in the loss. Because that loss is just as great, whether the world knew about that person,
Right.
to that person's family, as if no one but that family knew about that person. And you really, really speak to the power of that.
Thank you.
Please elaborate, if you will. Was there an incident or several incidents or something that absolutely caused you to, at this point, you had to say this in this way?
I had to say it. That piece was brought up. I think the CD was finished, and we were sitting there, and it was around the time with the Trayvon Martin situation. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I'm a mother of two myself. My godson was killed by the police, and I actually had to get his brain matter and every blood out of the streets. My brother-in-law was killed by a stray bullet the day before Father's Day. It entered his house window. And then I look around, and I see my brothers, and I know the effects of the Willie Lynch and the slavery and all of those things, and I take all of those things into account of how they try to extinct our brothers, our men, our fathers, our sons, how the system is set up to have them fail if they're not wise enough to get out. And I can't say enough how I love my brothers, how I love our people. And I just wanted to do another uplifting piece for our brothers.
Yes.
They always show what's good, what's not good about what they're doing.
Right.
But they need to show that there are people out there that love them and want them to do better.
Exactly. Well, I know that there's someone once said to me that what bleeds leads in the news, and so we must be conscious of that.
Thank you.
And you also talked about the fact that there is an alternative. You talked about the system.
Yes.
What if I can elaborate a little bit about what a system is, because a system is, for example, whether I know how to drive a car, whether I know how to make a car or not, I can go and I can put the key in, or anybody can put that key in, turn it, and the car will start, because it's a system that causes that to do that. So we must be mindful that when we're looking on how to make the adjustments in our lives and the things that affect us, that if it is a system, as you mentioned, Inspire, in place, that we don't fall into that system,
Right.
which ultimately then will produce the product or the result that system is designed to produce. And as artists, be it spoken word, whether it be an actor, a director, producer, musician, we have the ability to offer potential solutions, or at least making one aware, as you have done in your piece, how we must avoid falling into the systematic aspect. But there's something that is equally as important, and that is offering. Because you end the piece with saying, I love you.
I love you.
I love you. You see? And that is something that is clearly needed.
Right.
Because when you know that you love, when you know that you are loved, when you have the experience of what it means to love, you can ultimately then begin to have a sense of compassion, understanding, forgiveness. All of these things are encompassed in love.
In love.
And when you said, I love you, and you didn't stop there, you said, and I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. So that we know that we don't just function and live in a vacuum.
Right.
That each one teaches one. We are our brother's keeper.
We are. That's my motto with my sons. We are our brother's keeper.
We must pay attention with great regard to the system that is in place, as you said.
Yes.
And you know what? I used to think that at one point, I said, oh, my man, there's nobody out there that's really interested in a particular demise of a people. And later in my years of maturation, I realized through experiences that I saw is that, yes,
There is.
because it is profitable. It is profitable.
New slavery.
You see?
Yeah.
Slavery existed because it was a business.
Well, now it's the new slavery. It's the mental slavery now.
Now it is the mental slavery as well
Prison system.
as the prison system.
Yes. Yes.
Because not just, years ago was, there was license plates made. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Right, they're making everything.
It is an industry. And we must remember that anything that has the word industry at the end of it is designed to do particularly one thing: produce a product for a profit.
Right.
And therefore, we must realize that we must not hold any industry to any superior ethic and hold the artist, to any greater superior ethic of moral decency than we should any other industry. If artists have to be, held to a higher moral standard, then it should be across the board, because everything that we're dealing with deals with human nature. This is a very, very powerful piece. I really want everyone
So I dedicate
to
that
please.
to all my brothers, my 2 brothers, my sons, and all my brothers in my life. All the brothers out there. All of you.
It's dedicated to you guys. So
Yeah.
please, I want you to pay more attention. And I'm going to tell you now, if you should decide you want to call in, let me tell you what the number is. It's 323-965-1600. Again, that's 323-965-1600. That's the number to call in if you would like to speak to our guests, or if you have a question. And I'd like if you're on by now, you've already got the identification of the call code, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. It's rmconair.com. rmconair.com. You're listening to Oba Babatunde, and this is Masterpiece Theater. Now we're going to listen to a little bit more from Inspire.
I'm running towards freedom and I'm running towards choice. I'm running towards a new day and I'm running towards my voice. I hear myself calling me, telling me to come back to reality, daring me to live my dreams, and it seems I want to listen. See, it's been some time since I heard that familiar sound. I lost it somewhere way back when, somewhere between salvation and sin. See, my voice lived in purgatory, and frankly, I was even ignoring me. You know that gut feeling everyone tells you to listen to? Well, that was the one not quite getting through. So I, being me, did the things I did, and I lived the way I lived, and I learned some lessons the hard way. But now I know whether emotions or money, I'm saving some for a rainy day, because I'm running towards freedom and I'm running towards choice. I'm running towards a new day and I'm running towards my voice, and it ain't no time to slow down now. Mama said I've been determined since I was a child. She said I could captivate the world with my smile. So why the hell do I wear this frown, and why have I allowed life to get me down, and why can't I hear the sounds of my own voice? Trust and believe in my own choice. Friends calling me for advice, and ain't none of us taking it because life just don't seem to be going right. But I'm here to say to the world, I'm down for whatever. I trade them old songs. I got new songs for those old blues, and if it ain't good, well, I don't want to hear the news, because I'm running towards freedom and I'm running towards choice. I'm running towards a new day and I'm running towards my voice. And I hear it getting closer, and it sounds real good to me. Ain't nothing like when the light comes on, you can feel your soul being set free. Who do you have if you don't have you? Keep quiet. Take a listen. That voice you hear? It sure isn't it to guide you through. So shut the whole world out if you have to, because self-preservation is the #1 rule, and life teaches you lessons way past school. So if you choose not to listen, then you choose to play the fool. But do yourself a favor. Make this your year. Lend yourself your ear, because I ran towards freedom and I ran towards choice. I ran towards a new day and I ran towards my voice. Can you hear your voice?
Voice of Reason, and that was the Voice of Reason.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Voice of Reason, would you?
Voice of reason. That's that gut feeling.
Yes.
That's that voice that God gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's that little whisper, that intuition. That's the advice that your friends can't give you.
That's right.
So when I wrote that piece, I was in a time in my life where you take all the advice of others, and what's good for you may not be good for someone else, and vice versa. But, I allowed what I thought people wanted me to be to create me, and I was unhappy.
Yes.
And one day I was just like, I lost my voice. Where's my voice? Where is my voice? So I hit my knees, and I was like, I need to hear that whisper. I need to hear that gut feeling. And so in that piece, it's just like, I ran back to my voice.
I love that.
I started listening to that gut feeling, and I started to do what my intuition was telling me to do, because when you put yourself in a spiritual place,
Yes.
then you're guided and you're not worried about the world. You're not worried about what somebody else is doing. So at the end of the piece, I'm like, I found my voice. Stop calling me for advice. Find yours. Did you find yours? I
that.
found mine. So
And the beautiful thing
Yeah.
about that voice is that each person has that voice.
Each person has
it's
a voice.
It's their God voice.
Yes.
And it is always speaking to them, and all they've got to do is tune in and listen to it,
Right.
and they will hear it. Well, listen, the phones are
Okay,
lighting up
I
like
see.
crazy.
All
so
right.
let's take some calls. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
hello. Say hello.
Caller, you're on the air. We'll go to the next call.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Hi, this is Dietrich's sister, Monique.
Hey, Mo.
Hey. I was calling to tell you thank you for having my sister on the radio, and also congratulations on your CD. We love you, Inspire!
Thanks, sisters. And I have to say, thanks for the expression of beating my face before I got here. I am not sweating it out and still got my lips on.
Well, I just want to tell you, the words of poetry are words of wisdom for all ages, and your CD is beautiful, and I enjoy it every time. Even though my sister has gotten me slowly into poetry,
Yes.
but, her words are powerful.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, thank you so much for your support. Please continue to support her and continue to stay tuned to Masterpiece Theater. We're going to take
Okay,
another
we
call.
will.
All righty. Caller, you're on the line. You're on air.
Hello, are you there?
Mom? Dietrich?
Yes?
This is your mom calling from Louisiana. How are you?
Hey, Mom. Mom, all right. I didn't think you were going to be able to hear me. Oh, hey, Mom.
Hi, honey. Oh, my God. I am so proud of you. And I want to thank you all for just having my daughter, the person that produced the music. May God bless you and keep you, the host that hosting her in today. Thank you so very much. And, Dietrich, I have a crush on you.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh.
Wait, here's the funny thing. Can I say something? This is so funny. My mom is a minister, okay? So I did the whole CD, and sometimes you have to use words that will catch people, even if you're not using them in a derogatory way.
Yes.
But I wanted my mom and her friends to be able to enjoy it. So Ricardo and I went out of our way to go back in and kind of change those. Even though I was using the word as in reflection of, I just said, you know what, for my mom's ears, right?
Yes.
And so I sent her the CD in the mail. She didn't know. And I put on there, but skip number 6, Mom. Like, don't listen to that one. Because I was still thinking, like, if it made you pull over, right, what would it do to my mom, right? So I'm like, Mom, don't listen to number 6. Just go to the next one. And she calls me back and goes, girl, that's my favorite one. I was like, oh.
All right, Mom.
Mom, thank you so much. I love you.
I love you all, too.
Before you,
Wait, Mom.
As Vanessa, I'm here, too.
Hey,
I'm
sister.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
Mom, before we let you go, I want to say something to you, if I may. Your daughter is probably what any child could be at their very best, and that is a representation of good parentage. And that's what she represents. So we salute you today because, that apple truly does not fall far from that tree.
Oh, thank you so much.
So God bless you, and we thank you so much. And we'll continue to support her, and you hold us all up in prayer, and we'll be all
I
right.
certainly will. God bless.
God bless.
Thanks, Mom.
Be encouraged.
All right.
All righty. Well, how about that? Well, listen, with that now,
Okay.
I'm going to have to
Okay.
impose upon you to do one more piece live, if you would.
Okay, I will.
All
I
right.
will.
Okay.
This
Which
piece
one
I'll-
would you like to do? You set it up for us.
I'm going to do one of my pieces. Everybody, we go through things in life, and after you have a crush, you meet somebody, and that crush, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and so it
Yes.
sends you to another place. So this piece that I'm going to do was, I was going to do a collaboration,
Yes.
but it didn't go through. So my business partner, he says, well, I'm going to time it, because everybody's trying to always see, how fast can you write something? And literally, this piece was written in, I think, between 11 to 13 minutes. By the time we hung up, and I started writing, and it just came, and I called him back, like, what do you think about this? And he was like, I haven't even made it to work yet. You just wrote that? I'm like, yeah. So I love this piece because it means a lot to me. It just puts me where I was at the time. So this one's called Who Am I? Touch the glass in which my heart lies in solitary confinement. And I'm doing time behind this love and all of our insecurities, and I'm wondering what happened to the you and me see in relationships. In relationships, we value the communication of lips and hips, overlooking scars and rips and the things that make us trip. So what am I to you, and what are you to me? Human with humanistic qualities, making unplanned mistakes, to wish we would have kept it real from first dates, hell, to not knowing we weren't compatible until it was too late. As our bodies intertwined into a hell-like heat, not understanding but realizing we had the power to make each other weak, speechless from sleepless nights, some from lovemaking and some from fights. Knowing that this soon would be a topic of discussion, fervently trying to avoid the repercussions, trusting that love would keep us together, and not sure whether our future past would be the same, to hoping this time we've invested hasn't been in vain, to one day wishing to share the same name. But what am I to you, because things seem to have changed? I mean, remember when I was your good news, your what you did after going through the blues, your early morning cup of tea? You said you could drink me forever. You said if you had to choose a seasoning, it would be me, because I was your favorite flavor, your better half. When facing tears and fears, I could always make you laugh. Now, I seem to be all the wrongs, went from singing my name to being the blues in your songs. And I'm just wishing how we used to get along. Standing here, and I'm just missing how we used to get along. Hoping to rekindle what we had before, but baby, I hate to admit it. I've got one foot in and one foot out the door. So tell me, what am I to you? Because I don't seem to know anymore. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. I'm telling you, I mean...
I went through divorce. That was my DMX piece to my divorce, but it was in a poetry way.
Well, I tell you, there's something magical about poetry.
Thank you.
And that no matter what it is that, certainly your poetry, but no matter what it is that we're talking about, it has a means of a romantic, or it has a means of where it penetrates and hits the core. That's the beautiful thing about words. Here on Masterpiece Theater, the idea of taking words, whether they be spoken, sung, written, and that gives then me the option to then salute the artist that bring those words to life, be it through the musical interpretation of that, or be it through the director who directs those actors and those actors who bring to life those words. That's what's exciting about doing what we do here at Masterpiece Theater. And we spell peace, P-E-A-C-E. And it's because it is my desire through these words to bring about a peace, a comfort, a desire for one's understanding, and an outlet by which one, at the time when they want to just maybe do something that might end it all, find another outlet and access by which they can release it, and in doing so, relieve themselves of stress and pain, as well as help others. Because you see, these words will go on and on and on and on. I thank you so much.
Thank you
for being my guest today.
Thank you so much
for
having
having
me.
truly, truly, truly inspire. You have
you.
motivated, elevated, educated, and enlightened all of us. We thank you. And I thank my audience. Please continue to come back and support Masterpiece Theater. We're here every week, right here. So I look forward to seeing you next time with another great artist. I'm going to take us out with another Kevin Toney piece. Please remember this. In life, as you do anything, is how you do everything. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.